Hey, it's Will with a short note before today's episode. I'm in the studio. It's the day after I was in the field with recording the episode. And I just wanted to highlight a couple things. One, I think this is my 20th episode, EA Me, and I wanted to highlight a couple of things that I do outside of Upon Consideration. So that's what this website is. That's what this podcast is. That's where the email is uponconsideration.com. Bunch more stuff there. In the footer of that site, there's an about section. I updated that this week just to highlight some of these other links and other things I do around the internet. One of them is I just posted my Toronto pictures. I have a website that I capture any film and digital photos when I take them either here in New York City or when I travel. I did a handful of trips this year and I took some what I think are pretty cool photos. So they're on that website. That website is willjr.photos. I also put websites together for humans. That site is aboxofcorndogs.com. And I have what I would consider like a community advocacy site called Don't Do Nothing. And it's really an aggregation of a bunch of other sites, whether it's from a political advocacy or general community outreach type of programs and websites. I've pulled in a bunch of that data so it aggregates into a single site. That site is don'tdonothing.xyz. And then my last site is my agency site, which is thenewcommunicate.com. I'll list all the links to these sites in the description. Just wanted to make sure that I highlighted a couple of other things I do other than walking around the city and talking into a mic like a dork. Okay. It's Sunday. The Liverpool game is about to start, so I'm going to go turn on the TV. And thanks for being here. Enjoy the show. I was watching this video yesterday. I guess somewhere in Boston, they were taking photographs. I'm pretty sure it was the digital camera. It's more or less like what they see through the viewfinder and what the picture is. So they're two different things where they're taking this picture that's, a pretty nice looking photograph. Yet they're focused in actually on one specific part of that photograph that seems to be out of the casual viewer's eye. So they show the picture that they're taking, and then they show what they're actually focused on, which is more or less a cropped in version of a specific part, a specific focal point of that photo. That's a good way to think about it when you're taking photos, or maybe anything, is that there's all this context around you, but yet you're really focused in on one key part. It's Saturday. I think it's Saturday. It's been quiet the last few days with the holiday. It's a little after 6. It is cold. I mean, it feels like it's 22. It's not windy, so that's always good. It's just cold. End of November. It's supposed to be cold. Very quiet in the park today. I can't seem to get a handle on the schedule of the park. I can't really get a handle on the time I leave earlier. It's not like every morning, 6:15, I'm out the door. And even if I am out the door at 6:15, I mean, sometimes I'm dropping off garbage, sometimes I'm dropping off recycling. So it's not like I hit the park at the same time every day. Still, though, just doesn't seem like there's a ton of folks in the park. So maybe I just got used to the setup for the last two big events up here, the New York City Marathon and the Thanksgiving Day Parade. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind it. It's nice and quiet. I brought a GoPro and attached that to me yesterday's walk, which I'll do that again. I didn't publish it. I did go through the production process. think it's just going to take me a little while to get, kind of like that template, that style, the settings on the camera. I did the same thing with the audio, right? It took me a good month and a half of finding the right microphone, getting the right settings set up, getting all the edit production style templates set up, which I'm probably 90% of the way there. So I'll do that with video, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Yeah, people are definitely bundled up this morning. I watched this video of John Verity, I think his name is. It's a 50, soon to be 50-year-old artist, I think. Maybe works for an agency. Oof, that kind of energy at this time in the morning. No, thank you. Anyway, he gets on a bike. He's in London, or outside of London, and just films himself biking around talking about the city. Super casual. He's not a historian. I think he probably works for like an agency or does agency work on the creative side. And he probably uses his phone to record stuff, although he holds it up, which seems uncomfortable. But anyway, I like what he does. I like that feeling of him talking and then him showing what he's saying versus me describing audioly, verbally, the scene that's in front of me. Although I am taking pictures along the way, so hopefully that's helpful. Not quite video, but maybe I'll get there someday. I think I can get a good shot of the JP Morgan building today. So this is the skyline. It's a little dark out today. And I see the big, tall building. And then just to the left of that is the new JP Morgan building. I think the article I saw in the journal was Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan. Jamie Dimon's $2 billion bet to bring people back to the office. It's wild. It's a beautiful building. I think probably one of the nice things about it is it dumps right into Grand Central Terminal, which I imagine if you're working there, having that access. I mean, Grand Central Terminal includes, certainly the Metro North lines. I don't think Amtrak runs through there. I think Amtrak runs through Penn Station. But I think you have Metro North, which more or less goes up to Connecticut and back, goes further than that. But so it dumps into Grand Central Terminal. And then the subway lines, the East Side subway lines, 4, 5, 6, and the Crosstown Shuttle all dump into Grand Central Terminal. So that's kind of nice to be able to get into that and then go, right upstairs and get into the office. $2 billion. I mean, it is a behemoth of a building. It reminds me, I don't know if I have photos of it. I was walking down there the other day. I think it's like 43rd on the east side. Vanderbilt Avenue-ish. I was walking over there a couple of months ago before it had officially opened. It was still under construction. And it looks like something straight out of like a Gotham-based movie, kind of like that dark, hulking presence. Let me see how wide. I don't think I can get that there. See if we can get in the street, maybe get this. So I like the background of the skyscrapers behind it. Yeah, I did bring the digital camera with me today. I'm actually really surprised that a lot of these barricades are still up, like on the side streets. We can get this photo here. So that photo is actually on the other side of where the stands are. Yeah, I think I probably mentioned this when the marathon was being set up and dismantled. The amount of effort that goes into, setting up and breaking down these events. A couple of years ago, we built this whole ecosystem for this product. The idea was you can go online, order it, buy it, ship it, pre-configured. All the education resources were there. It was a $500 enterprise product with a subscription service model attached to it. And what we kind of learned during that whole process, whether it was through credit card transactions, billing, communications, information updates, what people don't see will probably confuse the heck out of everyone. At the end of the day, it's all a specialty, right? Specialty when it comes to business planning and forecasting and financial analysis, market research, messaging, positioning, frameworking, the product itself, selling. It's probably like where most of the respect within your peers is achieved. Like the show itself, right? The front end, let's call it. A lot of people are going to have opinions about that, the way it looks, the way that the experience is handled, the intuitiveness of it, right? Seemingly everyone can do their job or that job better than their own job, or the people that have been designated to do the job. Yeah, I think that back end part of it where you're building it, putting all the pieces together, ultimately making sure that the interface, the front end of it works seamlessly. We do trials and beta tests. But that back end part of it where all the work is actually done, not to dismiss the front end work, which I would consider even the back end side. The front end is really just the user using the service, the application, the product, the solution, which is hard enough as it is. It's very difficult to make something simple. I just think about the guys that are out there now breaking everything down. That's part of it. That's part of that experience. Because if that doesn't go well, then likely next year, that's not going to go well either. Residents are going to be mad that there's all this noise going on at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Bikers are going to be upset because they can't get a bike. The city bike stations are all gone. So we put this product together and we launched it because we wanted to get it out to market as quickly as possible and get as much feedback as quickly as possible, knowing that at least from the user side, everything worked great. You go in, you order the product, you sign up for the service. Just like any kind of e-commerce platform, you hit pay, you get a shipping label or a shipping tracking number that arrives at your ship to address. You get billed. We only did credit cards. So to go from, we didn't really put a discovery engine in the beginning. We actually sent it directly to some of our current clients with the caveat that this was a beta process and we love their feedback. And if they wanted to buy it, great. We give them a discount on it for the first year. Part of that back end stuff, you want to make it as simple as possible for them just to buy the product. In this case, the product and the service. But that back end didn't really matter, right? At least from a perception standpoint. Because ultimately what they were doing was going onto the website, their expectations were already built in, right? Everybody's already used Amazon, so we know how an e-commerce platform not only works, but is supposed to work. So we were trying to meet table stakes. We were trying to meet that level of experience with a single product. And the back end in reality, we were pulling levers and pushing buttons left and right manually to make this all work. There's a point where we just had to make a decision to say, yeah, let's put the effort in for another month. Let's get it out there and get some feedback. And if we think that this is a viable product, then let's start iterating on all the back-end automation to make the experience even faster, even better. So I think about the guys and gals out there right now and their importance of a role in the whole Thanksgiving Day project, Thanksgiving Day parade project, yet it goes unseen. I think a lot of people are like that. They're okay with that. That's where they operate best in. I remember when we were younger in California, a divorce center, a wellness pharmacy, a tattoo parlor, and a pan-fried chicken restaurant. All four right next to each other. It's quite a day. Yeah, I remember being young in California and taking vacations, road trips up and down the coast. And we were taught pretty early on that the vacation, the trip, doesn't end when you get home. It ends when all your stuff is put away. Where you could just roll into the next day. And not to suggest that the vacation or the travel didn't happen, but at least from a foundational, operational, logistics standpoint, you're not working on your vacation style. Right? So on the drive home, go get gas in the car, go get the car washed. Get home, put everything away, right? Put the luggage away. Put your dirty clothes in the hamper. Get prepped for the next day. I mean, it's definitely a pain because you're thinking, oh, I'm done with the vacation, I'm home. But it was taught pretty early to us that actually the vacation starts when you start packing or even when you start planning. And the trip ends when you unpack. I mean, being in a marketing, PR, communications profession for enterprise organizations, I think about that constantly. Other folks in the organization will come to me as the guy that is the head of that department, and they want to work on our team, which is awesome, which is one of the best feelings in the world. A, that person wants to stay within the organization. B, they want to work on our team. What's always interesting is when you ask them what the expectations are, like, what do you see in this role? And ultimately, what they say is, oh, we love the design of this. We love the visibility of that. We love the creativity. Like, they see all that front end stuff, which is cool. But when you start talking to them about the foundational stuff, the logistics stuff, the stuff that you need to put away from your trip, the boring stuff, the hard stuff, there's less of a, for the most part, there's less of an enthusiasm there. Feels more or less that they want to join because they want to be part of that front end, not realizing of how much back end is involved. I don't know who decorates this condo. It's fantastic. Yeah, so it's that hard part. So we tend not to see, we tend not to celebrate, which is a big bummer. Here's an easy example. So one of the sales team folks came to me and asked, I've got this client, I have a relationship with this team, and they're interested in this product that y'all are selling. Can you create some specific collateral for this interested party? We want to get them on a demo. We think it'll be a good fit for them. My response is, yeah, for sure. Right? Anything to sell the product, mostly anything to sell the product. My first question was, like, from a design standpoint, what are we thinking about? My first question was, well, who are they? Why do they need this? What are their pain points? Right? All that little stuff. What did they actually say that made you think that this product would be a good solution for that? And give me that stuff, and then I can frame a whole landing page specifically talking about their specific pain points and the specific challenges that they are facing, right? To resonate with them and to show them ultimately that we feel these too, and then what the solution is, or what our recommended solution is. Right? It's that boring, that in the weeds, in the guts stuff that we've got to go through to ultimately figure out how do we position this, whether from copy, message, creative, whatever it might be. That's the fun part. I think the biggest challenge to that for anybody in the creative field, which is almost anybody, is how do you still hold on to that creative piece while building out the business aspect of it too, right? The guts of it. How do you turn the guts into something creative and fun where people want to join you for that, as well as the creative, the front end stuff of it? I'm looking at the stands that are still up across the street. Sure do appreciate the work that they're doing, and can't wait to see the park without the stands again. Oh yeah, we got the demos in a couple of weeks. That'll be a big win for us.